Well, double 1/8 set Shadow here. So let's go ahead and get into today's market watch. Our first item is going to be the chase card of DivineZ 9, which, well, it's been the chase card, but it never really feels like it now. Dissection Angel. This card has been continuously dropping since the release of DivineZ 9 and is now just above $21, $22 in terms of its base price. And there are still 30 listings on the market for this card. And overall, the market price has been taking quite a nosedive into about $24. And the number of quantities on the market, $25 and under, is quite high. There are 2 listings of this card, which both have double-digit listings that just barely touch 50 in some cases. And otherwise, there are still a lot of other listings on this front page with comparable pricing. Dissection Angel is used in decks like Minerva, and then being as generic as it is, you can basically throw it into any deck that either just needs one of these skills, or if you can make use of both of them and have enough soul, it's an amazing card to have in your tool chain. If you're looking for a cheaper version of Rider Latif, you do have one from the Koro set in Gebe and Owner, the old man with his cat. In any case, this version is at about $450 at the low end, and then 10 listings on the market for this card. It's been dropping off in market price as well, with an increase in sales in comparison as it's been dropping, moving around the high 3s to the low 4 rates, and a market price just above $4 right now. Consolidation of this card, you do have one level around $450 with a slightly higher level of shipping, and after that, it jumps back up into the $7 range. So this is probably your best chance to pick it up on the cheaper end, as I believe Latifa is used in Vrilgia a bit more commonly nowadays. It's been a while since we've taken a look at Androl, the Direful Doll master, so let's see where this card has been sitting. Direful Dolls have been getting some sprinkles of support here and there, and then just got reprints of some of their support cards in Festival Booster 2025. So where is it now? Now it's sitting around $350 at its lowest, with a market price that's been increasing over the last 3 months. You were able to pick this card up in closer to the dollar range about 3 months ago, and more recently the card has been selling. By the end of July, it got up to $2, and then it started to hit $3 and $4 as we went through August. We do have a few sales already in September, which are all $350 at base minimum. The market price is closer to $3 right now, and consolidation of the card, we do have a few $350s, and after that, it's basically $5 onward, and there are quite a few of them closer to the $5 mark. With Nirvana Jiva and Trickstar getting more support, I wanted to go over a few more cards. One is Blazing Heavenly Render Equipped Dragon, Aparajea. Now that's a mouthful. But this card not only is a mouthful, it's got quite a price tag on it right now. There are 6 listings of this triple rare, which comes from set 13, and it's currently $25 at base minimum. As for what it's been selling for, in the last few days, we've seen this card early in September. It moved less than $10, then it started moving for $15, and now we're starting to see a $18, and then there are some sales that are already in the mid to high 20s. So this card is definitely moving up in value, and there is only one playset listing at about $25.50 per copy, and afterward, basically all the listings on here range from $25 to $28, and then you just have to add some shipping and handling to that. Conceited Noble Philander is still around $20 for its original set 13 listing, which you would hope that this would go down a bit more, given that, as we talked about on the Market Watch prior to this card is getting reprinted as part of the Shiki starter deck. So right now it's $20 at the lowest, and the market price has dropped off as of mid-August. It was getting closer to 24 again, and now the market price is back to about 22, which is still up there. And as for its sales, Despite the reprint coming up, there have still been a few sales of this card around $19, so it's still moving places. And there are 2 pages worth, with the first page still going all the way up to $33 for the top end listings there. But there are a good amount of copies that are still $25 and under. However, I would imagine that you'll be able to pick this up cheaper once the reprint actually comes out this weekend. Rainbow Jewel Beast Ol Paris, which is the cat for Lyrical Monasterio. This came out of Trick or Trick, which was set 4 for Lyrical Monasterio. It's been a while since we've talked about it, and honestly, it hasn't really moved anywhere. But it's still a $16 card with 20 listings on the market. The market price has been dropping off for the last 3 months, but it's been moving more so around the $15, $16 mark for the last 2 months, and now the market price is around $16. More detail, there have been just a few sales closer to $20, but nothing has breached $20 for at least the last 2.5 months. They're mostly around 15 and 16, as stated before. No heavy consolidation of this card. There are a decent amount of copies on the first listing, which are just around $16, and not many that are actually closer to 15. So ultimately, it's not a cheap one, but at least it's not as expensive as it was before with the hype it was getting. Prank Explorer Crispina, which is a Fennel Trick and Treat support card, has 8 listings on the market for its triple rare and is currently around $7, but there are quite a lot of copies for that low-end listing. The market price is currently around $5, which has been increasing since the last month, where it's kind of been sitting underneath $3.50. And it has been moving at $7, or rather, it seems like just a few days ago there were quite a few sales of this card for $7. I don't know if it was just a single buyer buying from multiple people, but I mean, this 722 is not too far off from what those were bought at. Otherwise, yeah, the consolidation of this card is basically $8 and under right now. There is another level of consolidation at $15, but there are still too many copies way below that to go through to start off. However, do keep in mind, there is a new Fennel that's supposed to be coming with the Christmas Lyrical Monasterio set that should be coming for us in January. Sealed Blaze Dragon Conceited. This is a triple rare from set 9. And not sure what happened here, but let's go down into the details. So, this card's market price has been going back up, especially given the limitations on Balsagra, so that opened this up for some potential utility. The market price is now above $360, and it basically hit its low around the end of August, while it's now been climbing back up since. As for its recent sales, we've been looking at this card moving from a range of about $3 to $7 since the end of August. And now the card's lowest listing is $8, but it has more consolidation around $10 and $11. And then just keeps moving up to $20 for its highest, and only 9 listings on the market. Strike Equipped Dragon Stragalio, which is another crossover dress support card. This one hasn't really been seeing too much in terms of price increases, and it hasn't been bought off the market at all. 28 listings on this card, and the market price is still down, but we did see some pickups in sales, likely just due to the chance of potentially playtesting this card. The market price is currently around $1.75, and yet we've been seeing quite a lot of sales of this card around 80 cents, and then I guess when the availability disappeared, it started moving for around $1.50 to $2. The lowest listings of this card are now around $2 and $2.50, so it's still cheap to pick up, but at least not as cheap as it was before. And just a note on some of the counter heals. They have been starting to see a tick up in value, even though they're not exactly the greatest in terms of actual price gain. It's more of just the continuous percent gain on here. As an example, Incorruptible Holy Light Yufa, which is the Dark States counter heal for dealing with 2 attacks a turn from a unit. This one is under 10 listings for both of its low-end rarities, and it's basically a $2 card now with a combined number of 13 listings. The market prices on these range from around $175 to just over $2 right now, but I should also note that the SP is completely off the market with a market price of about $39. So this one is definitely moving up, and there have been a few tick ups overall for some of these, considering that this last reprint was in Festival Booster 2024, and they're starting to see some more relativity as we're starting to see most of the top decks just continuously keep on using crit or restand effects. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.